Hello, this is Midnight 29. Today I will be looking at the 100th episode. And, well, my viewpoints. I actually thought it was very good, considering we had a lot of spoilers. We all knew it was going to be a background pony episode. However, what I didn't expect was it to completely not have the main six, bar at the very end. They were all pretty much out of view. I expected a lot more interaction maybe, or them to lead the plot along. However, that wasn't true. Instead, it was totally dependent on the rest of Ponyville. The wedding idea was brilliant. I mean, how else would you gather and put so many ponies of different kinds and get around the whole of the fandom's favorites if you didn't have something to gather them? I suggest wedding, party, maybe some crisis that only them could solve, but that would have been a bit complicated, and that would have meant trying to get rid of the main six. Which they did, but they did it in such a way that they weren't needed for this situation. They were doing something more important, so the background ponies had to take charge. There were a few things that I did think were a bit odd. For instance, Bon Bon. Honestly, I was expecting her to burst out and say it was a joke, that it was a funny thing that she was making up. And the fact that she wasn't made me think, hold on, are you serious? I mean, what stories are going to pop up now because of this being canon, literally canon? It's quite incredible. One thing I loved about the show, one thing that made me completely burst out laughing, well, Gummy. I mean, who couldn't just be shocked and laughing out loud at Gummy's most inner thoughts? Especially out of the blue. I mean, this is meant to be background ponies. And I guess I never really considered Gummy as a background pony. Well, background character anyway. He was just there. And there we are, getting his deepmost thoughts. One thing that I knew was good, but I personally didn't like, just because it's not really my taste of music, was, well, the music. I mean, those two were pretty good together, and it was very well done. And the animation and the incorporating other characters, even though they couldn't all have speaking roles or all get their own cameos, still incorporating them. It was really well done. Just not my type of music. Doctor Who was awesome. Or should I say, Doctor Who's. Even though they never said her name, even though we're not really sure if that really is a time traveler or not, or if he's just an inventor. It was really well done. I loved that. Especially when he used Allons-y. I couldn't help but smile and giggle at that. One thing that I feel was very well done, out of all the things that was well done, was Derpy. And I admit I wasn't around for the big fiasco with her. I understand why there was a fiasco. I understand all the reasons, both sides, to the most part. But I think they handled her well. Yes, she made a mistake. But they didn't make it out to be her mistake. It was just a mistake that happened that she had to take responsibility for. And she stood up for it. She took the charge and tried to find a way to fix her problems. To fix all the problems that her mistake had made. And she did it. Obviously not single-handedly. Obviously not on her own and without any help whatsoever. Because then the other ponies wouldn't have been incorporated at all. Instead, they worked it out together. Yes, Bon Bon was a bit out of the blue, but otherwise, it was a good episode. I loved how you could see the sisters acting like sisters for once. You know, Celestia and Luna. Oh my, how I could so relate to that situation. You were meant to bring the present. No, you were. Ah, the amount of arguments I've gotten with my sister myself because of that similar situation. And the smiles we would put on, the mask when really there was a volcano bubbling underneath. It's great to see that. Royals acting like normal people, which I think they should do more often, but it's nice that they showed it in the fan episode, which I think I will probably be calling it, because overall it was a love letter to fans, to the brony community. I knew from the minute the mare opened her mouth that this was a love letter to us. Though I may not have got a lot of the references because I'm new to the fandom, but even I knew that it was to us, it wasn't to anyone other than us. Yes, it related to the ponies in the show, but I felt as though we were all in the room. We were all the ones that the mayor was talking to, saying, "You guys did good." Yes, there will be people in the fandom who aren't as, well, the best behaved as others. There's always the minority. But overall, this fandom's been great. Though I'm new to it, though I'm not fully informed in everything, I'm really certain I've missed something with Bon Bon, but meh. I still think it was great. I still think this fandom is great. I can't wait to see what they have for the next few episodes. And I have a feeling this one will be the top of the list for a number, at least for the short term, before people start critiquing it and saying, "Oh wait, this was wrong with it, this was wrong with it. Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that?" Truth is, just enjoy it. Sit back and read the love in it. Understand that this letter was for us, and so thank you, despite the spelling mistakes, despite the flowing maybe not being completely correct, despite the grammar being awful or something that you may come across later on in the year when you look back on this episode. But remember, this show started out for little girls and has grown into a phenomenon no one could have guessed. And this love letter is for us, the ones who were there from the beginning and the ones who are there now. Thank you again, and stay brony.